Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number one. I don't think any number of games here, but certainly the first game that I'm casting with Drongo. Mexico versus Mexico. Oh boy.
Indeed, oh boy. So we've got Fitzbro, who's spawning up towards the north of the map. He's playing on the color green. Going to be going up against Soldier, who's going to be playing on the pink color. Tell us a little bit about this civilization. What do we need to know, Inter?
Well, it's brand new. You get a pretty good crate start, which is nice. I really like the market start with Mexico. It's super smooth. You got 200 wood, you get 100 coin. It's just super easy to do every game. Feels pretty good. And given that you only get a military wagon when you hit up, like the United States, you kind of need a good crate start because you don't have 400 wood or 500 food or whatever the European civs get. So looks like that is what we've got Soldier going to be doing at the start here. He's recognized that. Couple of vills on coin. Does he need the vills on coin? Oh, he's going to buy 100 wood. I see.
Yeah, I like this play from him. This is actually pretty good. So going for the hunting dogs, and then instead of chopping out that 50 wood, it's going to buy him up, or he's just going to be able to chop that extra little bit of gold. I think he might have picked up an early gold treasure helping him out with that.
Yeah, he wants that one behind his base. That would have been nice. Yeah, you often do this as France, I think. I'm not sure. I mean, as Mexico, you could just chop 50 wood. But yeah, all the same, going to get his house, going to get his market. That's what we're looking at. Really going to be quite a nice start there. That Explorer, what has he come across?
So far, he's got the 40%. Nothing else really. We can go check what else we've got on the map. So he's just missed out on the 60 wood down here to the south, and now he's going to start on that Cougar treasure. So a bit unfortunate.
Yeah. Well. I mean, your Explorer at 500 hit points is the general he's got more hit points than the Explorer, so maybe quite nice. Though, what's Fitzbro going for? Just up to the north there.
Looks like he's having a pretty good time. Going to find a 60 wood treasure here. So yeah, very very nice for Fitz. First shipment about to come in as well. We'll take a look at what their decks have got. Oh my lord, I just realized how far we can zoom out in AoE 3 now. Look at that. That is just, it is ludicrous. Now we've got that first shipment coming in. What do we got here?
Don't ask me to pronounce it. Hacienda 2 settler wagon.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like that a lot. Now, let's take a look at his deck. We'll do a little bit of an analysis while we just note that Fitzbro is actually going for a trading post himself. So leaving that coin on the floor and going for an early TP here. I do like this play.
I like this opening. Yeah, the TP opening is 15 vil age up, whereas the market is 14 vil. So you get up slower with the TP, and you can't really make good use of the coin that you start with. But the extra XP is really nice, particularly for some of the revolutions, I might add. But I don't know if we're going to see that. But maybe we will later. Anyway, TP start versus market start. So nice to see different things here. You wanted to comment on the decks, did you? I mean, that card is clearly the opening one, right? You get 2 vils, you get Hacienda. That's like your 3 vil shipment. I mean, it's not 3 vils, but that's what Mexico gets.
Yeah, so one of the things with the Hacienda when it does come down, so it also has a trickle of food or gold, and you can see right there that it's going to be gathering up. So I think it's got the cow that's working on it as well at the same time. So providing a nice little trickle there. So it is definitely a very nice early game shipment there, probably up there with the 3 Coeur de Bois almost.
Oh yeah, I mean, actually earlier in development that was half a food per second, but now it's 1 food per second. It was originally worth 1 vil. The trickle was just 1 vil worth of a villager on the Hacienda, but the cow spawn was really good. So tune that up a bit, and it's 1 food per second. The coin one is also worth 2 villagers on the Hacienda, so you see it's worth 1 food per second there, and the cow is also contributing. If you click on the cow, 0.17 rather. So that's a third of a villager. It's your cows. So cows can help out there, but Mexico get less villagers than other civs, and you can only get 20 cows. So, but something to bear in mind. Looks like Fitz hasn't realized this yet. Might be his first game as Mexico, but he could put that cow on there.
He could put that cow on there, and he could click his age up time anytime he likes as well, Fitz.
He could do that as well, but look what he's sending. Look at that.
Sending in the independence movements, which is going to reduce the cost of his revolutions and his returns. So for anybody,
this is
I was going to say for anybody wondering, so most civilizations have got the ability to revolt, and that comes in the 4th age. And you revolt, and you permanently lose the ability to go up to age 5, the imperial age, by revolting. There's lots of different revolution civilizations that you can go into, things like the Republic of South Africa, you can go into Canada, you can go into all different sorts of crazy things. But the Mexicans are different, or Mexico rather, is different in that they can revolt in the 2nd age, or the 3rd age, or the 4th age, and then they can potentially come back to their home country at a later time. Tell us about the options that there are in the second age to revolt.
This is the perfect game to like introduce it. We've had the Hacienda immediately, which is their Civ bonus, and the Revolution mechanic, which is their Civ bonus. So they got these two features, as well as an additional hero when you hit up to the next stage. So we're covering them right away, which is really cool. But yeah, so Mexico was a very volatile place, I guess. And there was a number of revolutions. So you have in the first stage 2 options to become Central America, or you can revolt as Baja California are your 2 options. So one of them's a very economic revolution where you get 7 settlers immediately as soon as you revolt, but you keep all your villages. You can't train new villagers. And the other option is kind of like you transform all your villages into military and you try and grab trading posts, and it's a bit of an all-in strategy. But I'd love to show you that. There was a game versus Soldier I played later, but we'll focus on this game I think for now. So those are the 2 options that you have at first to revolt with. But what's Soldier doing here? 700 wood followed by 700 coin by the looks of it.
Yeah, so just playing that standard toxic semi-FF style we would normally expect from a player like Soldier. Also going up with the first option for the age up. I don't actually remember what it's called, but you can see he's got the Maya crops here as well as the Tzotzil Uprising.
Yeah, so he's aged up with Chipas there. It's lots of synergy with Haciendas. I mean, if you go up with this age up, I quite like to send the second Hacienda card. That's not what Soldier has done, but certainly has the option to, get lots of big boost later on. However, Fitzbro, by the looks of it, going up with Cuatrero Haciendas. Going to get the extra population there. Also, I really like sending the second Hacienda. So you have like 2 Hacienda, you send the Hacienda 2 villages followed by Hacienda on its own, and then this card comes in, you get 60 pop in total from your Haciendas due to the one that arrives with that card as you're showing.
Yeah.
So here only 40 pop, but that's okay.
It's a huge amount of population space that comes in there, and obviously it gives up Wagon, which is expensive. The Hacienda, for anybody wondering, costs 600 wood, so the same as an estate. So it's expensive, but at the same time, it's pretty affordable considering you can fit 20 villages on them.
You don't need houses. You don't need houses.
Fitzbro just really making sure at this point that he has got a very affordable, or not affordable, but he's got a lot of space back there for his houses.
He's got 15 insurgents in queue. He needs a population.
That's a lot of insurgents. So it's an insurgent peasant armed with whatever they could find. Good against cavalry and buildings. But speaking of whatever they can find, it looks like Fitzbro might be in a bit of danger here as some enemy... What have we got here? Some Soldaros moving in. Yeah, moving towards the north here. They kind of look a little bit like Fusiliers, don't they? The way that they carry themselves.
I love this unit, man. This is like my favorite Mexican unit. It's simple, just a 2-pop musket, but man, is he a big, beefy boy. And the grenades is so much fun. Like he throws grenades at buildings. And actually gets upgraded by an arsenal tech later on, so you can get area damage like on his regular ranged attack, which is why I like this unit so much. But yeah, Soldier opening with 3 of them. They're really expensive, so don't judge him here. He didn't get his full batch of 5, but that's kind of challenging with a unit like this.
Yeah.
Either way though, they are running Fitz around.
So the stats on these are very high, and as you mentioned, they are a 2-pop unit. They're not a 1 population unit. They're also very expensive, and now we see those insurgents now moving in towards it. Now these are kind of described as a little bit like Strelets that are Rodoleros, and Fitzbro has revolted. Already coming through, Fitzbro going to be revolting now. Looks like he's gone into Central Americans.
Indeed, the economic option that I mentioned earlier. More insurgents coming out, okay. He's going to catch those Soldaros for sure. How appropriate, Soldier making Soldaros.
those Soldados, Soldadu? There, that's
we'll
a tough.
Call them Soldados. I like that too, Soldados.
Soldadu, yeah. They're trying their best to hold on up here, but it looks like the farmers with their. Is that a gavel? What is it that they've got? I mean, they've really just quite literally picked up anything that they could.
Yeah. Plows, pickaxes, clubs. Man, they have an assault. I mean, it's all the same. They're just, but yeah, they got whatever they could find, man. They're peasants. They're farmers.
That's exactly it. They're peasants, and they're cheap as well as 65
all right,
food.
One bout coming in. This is how we handle This is how we handle Soldaros. There it is.
The one Falc coming in, so that is correct. Fitzbro has fast revolted into Central America and shipped in a single falconet. From his home city, and you will note he's sending another one in. That's because Fitzbro, when he came up to the second, or when he came up to his revolution, he has subsequently got a brand new deck. Now, the cards that he came up to age 2 in are still going to be there, but he's gotten a whole new suite of cards to choose from, including one Falconet. Now, that's one infinite Falconet as well. Obviously, this has to be very carefully balanced inter. It's a tough thing. There's very specifically no 2 Falconet card in here, but there is a 2 Culverin card in age 3, and I think that's the first time we've ever seen 2 Culverins in age 3.
Yeah, I mean, that card is super strong. Your opponent semi-FFs, you just revolt. It's like, nope, no 2 Falcons for you.
Yeah.
In this case, like, you can play really reactively with Central America, which is kind of cool. But in this case, he's just spamming Falconets by the looks of it. Personally, when I play this Revolution, I quite like to open with the Cathedral card, which gives you an extra Cathedral, and then you can build another one. So you get 2 in total, because it adds the build limit there, as you can see. And they each gather 2 XP per second, so 4 XP per second in total. And then it also gives you access to quite a lot of utility, because the Cathedral has a number of free techs and other things in it. And, you know, that extra XP is kind of super nice just to get these shipments out. But it looks like Fitz just going to chug out as many cannons as he can. 3 cannons, man. I mean, that's a lot of shipments, right? Like, that's not cheap to get a hold of these. Like, Fortress Age, you get 2 of them off 1 ship, and this is 3 shipments for 3. So, like, his composition is entirely dependent on this, and he needs those Falconets to win the game. He's put himself into a situation where he's saying, hey, I'm just gonna make tons of Falconets, and that is how I'm gonna beat you. And he is committed to this, because if it doesn't work, oh boy, that could be. I don't think there's a way back from here. Let's see what he does though, because how do you deal with 3 Falconets?
Well, I've got some ideas. Perhaps you could revolt yourself and then just call in 2 Culverin. You know, and
we say, yeah, perfect.
And then you've basically counted your 3 shipments of your enemy with a single shipment, and you know you're going to have change to spare there as well. Now, speaking of change, it looks like Fitzbro might be in a bit of trouble as the Soldados move in towards his base. And now, just keep in mind, these guys do so much damn attack. He's going to be absolutely overkilling these villagers. How many hits do they need? I think it's still going to be 5 hits that they're going to need to kill villagers. But I tell you what, they're going to have no trouble at all murdering everybody that's down here.
They are so satisfying. Like, they just don't die. They're just this massively hit point. They got a really deep voice as well when you use them. This is hands down my favorite unit.
Yeah, it is. It's a really cool unit. I love the fact. So for anybody wondering, earlier,
take a look at the TC.
Yeah, I think we should. So Fitzbro going to be pushing down towards Soldier. Soldier actually going up towards age 3, looking to age up with Tabasco. Not only a delicious sauce, but also an age up state for the Mexicans in towards age number 3.
Yeah, fun tip. The Tabasco sauce is not produced in the state of Tabasco. Villagers coming in for the pull here. I mean, the TC goes down. This is not looking good for Soldier. I'm going to put it down to not knowing what is possible with Mexico here. But like Soldier's he's been around a long time. He knows how to handle himself, and using the Vills here to try and trying to take down the Falconets. Insurgents, they don't do too much damage. I mean, they are going to clean up those. He's got, what's he got in the back? Are they Salteadors?
Yeah, they're Salteadors.
Yeah, that's so.
So this is the unique skirmisher for Mexico. So it is a fast-moving but very light unit. So only 110 HP. So very similar to a Cazador there with the 4.5 movement speed and a 30%. Is that a range resist or a melee resist? I think that's a range resist.
That's range resist. Yeah, same as a skirmisher, 30% range resist.
But one of the things to note is Soldiers lost a lot of villagers here.
Yeah, this could be over. Well, he's still on 20. He's still on 20. Where are they?
Yeah, he's got a couple.
He's handled the Falconets as well.
He's got a couple out here that have managed to escape. Interesting to note.
I think you were right about the revolt, though. He should have revolted himself. That would have been a great way to handle the Falconets.
Yeah.
How many villages does Fitz have?
Let's take a look. He's sitting on 19. Now, keep in mind, he's not going to be able to add any other villages in until he actually clicks up to the next age. So when he returns back. And that's going to be quite expensive for him to do.
Oh, man, this is a really interesting game. Neither of them can make settlers. Well, Soldier can. He just doesn't have a town center. But Fitz can't because he's Central America. You can't make more villages. Though he does have the card, the Salvadorian coffee, second on the right.
Second on the right. Here we go.
Yeah, that one.
Ships an additional settler for each shipment you've sent so far this game. That is a lot of settlers. 8 settlers.
Yeah. I mean, in this position, that probably would put him in the lead. He knows he's destroyed the enemy town center, gets ahead economically with that, and then just perhaps gets those veteran units that you were just hovering over. Santa Maria's fire. That's another card you like to send early on because you keep getting those Peter as they trickle out. Man, you just walk them into the opponent's face and blast houses up. Oh, it's
Yeah,
great.
so Santa Maria's fire. So you receive a free petard with all future shipments, starting with this one. So it is like, imagine Spanish gold, but with fireworks instead. That is what Mexico has got.
That's what Central America's got.
Well, yes, Central America, yes. A lot of fireworks.
Which I guess, which Mexico has as well. Okay, so I mean, fairly even villager count. So this game's up in the air though. Soldier is ahead on score slightly, but I guess Fitz has the tech advantage, kind of. You know, he has access to Falcons. He could train Falconets.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Chipotle Tactics coming in?
Indeed it is. Yes, Chipotle Tactics. For anybody wondering about this, ships 500 food, destroyed buildings grant you food, including your own. So how does this work exactly? Is it going to drop a crate of food on the ground when the buildings die?
It's the kill XP. Go, hover over. Oh, it's not come in just yet. So if you kill, let's say you kill that market there, you'd get 40 food because the kill XP is 40. Or if your market was destroyed, you'd also get 40 food because of the kill. It's matched to the kill XP.
Right, okay. And so it also mentions that it affects your own buildings as well.
Yeah, so if your enemy destroys something that belongs to you, you get the food.
Right, okay. So I guess Soldier's got to be careful here. He's got to, sort of make his decision. Do I really want to kill this house? I mean, I'm going to get the kill XP, but I'm going to reward my enemy at the same time. I mean, you probably still take that trade, wouldn't you?
Well, he kills a house as well, which is nice.
Plus 40 food.
In the long run, it has to be worth it at some point. But 500 food is it's not a great card to kind of open with. It takes a while to pay off, especially in a supremacy match. Here, though, Soldier, this is looking pretty good. Although here comes an army of revolutionaries. Okay, he's gonna get back there.
Yeah, so revolutionaries, they're a little bit like a Carolian, I guess. They've got that bonus against cavalry in range. You would be familiar with them from the other civilizations that have got access to them, but we can see Fitz doing his best to try and catch up to these units, but keep in mind, the Soldados, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce them, but they're a lot stronger than the army that Fitz has got right now.
Man, yeah. I mean, revolutionaries, 100 food for 160 hit points and 4.5 speed. It's pretty good, especially if you're just gathering food, but yeah, Soldar is very, very chunky. And that's what Soldier's got, and lots of them. It looks like, though, he's got a Falconet, which could even the odds. Those insurgents aren't going to stay.
Oh, they got blown to Kingdom Come.
That's why you play AoE3.
Yes, that is. That Falconet blast looking absolutely awesome as it kicked back those 4 melee infantry units, trying their best to mess with the Falconet, but obviously 200 HP too much.
Yeah, looks like Soldier's gotten his town center back up now, so he's going to be able to start training villagers again, and he's going to be able to start scaling. Mayor Crops come. Does he have any Hacianas? Just the one.
He's got
there.
the one. We can zoom out all the way and see if we can spot any other ones. It doesn't look like it.
Look at this.
Yes.
No.
Oh.
Okay, so I mean that card does affect new Hacianas as well. So in the long run, he won't lose any value if he gets more Hacianas. But yeah, these Soldares taking damage from the Falc. I mean, that's why you go Central America. But you got to protect it, and it looks like it's getting value though.
It really is. It is getting a lot of value considering just how expensive these units are. And that's one thing to note is that even though these units, they are expensive, they are 2 pop, and they are 300 HP, they're still going to get one-shot by a Falconet. And, that is the really difficult sell on these units because, I love them. I think they're incredible. The fact they got 25% melee resist as well, they're incredibly strong. But the Falconet is always going to be the trump card in these situations.
I think, let me take a look. Name, Soldaro. Yeah, they have slightly wider obstructions, so actually they stand further apart. So when Falconets blast at them, they are further away from each other, so they should take less area damage overall. Which will be helpful, given that, yes, they do get one blasted. Mind you, though, maximum hit points on this guy, 720 if you get all the upgrades.
Far out. That is it's a little bit ridiculous, 720 hit points. I guess it is important to remember they are 2 population, though, so it's like a Hussar.
You thought Cuirassiers were strong.
Oh, they did it. They did it again. So I guess the question is at this point is, do we expect Soldier to look to age up anytime soon?
I mean, what's he got? 700 food. Shipment curve is real slow at this point because the game's gone on for a while.
He's lost all of his trading posts as well.
I mean, he could revolt, I guess. I mean, what do you revolt into? Probably Central America. I don't think Baja at this point is kind of any good. You know, the shipment curve's too. It's kind of progressed too far. He's got a lot of units though, and let's remember he keeps getting villages. Fitz just doesn't. So at some point, as long as Soldier just doesn't die, he will eventually just have more villages and win. Oh, okay. Well, that's one way to get villages is Central America. Big 10 boost of 10. So he sent the Salvadorian coffee card and is elected for 10 villages there. So has sent 10 shipments, clearly.
Yeah. So doing his best to try and get back in the game. But obviously, for him, if he does want to actually begin to make villages again, it's going to be quite a task for him to do that because of how expensive it is for him to age up. So keep in mind, when you go from age 2 and you revolt, you're technically revolting into your 3rd age, which means if you want to get out of that revolution and you want to rejoin, Mexico, which is the only option that you've got, it's actually going to cost you the same amount it would to be going to the industrial age. So incredibly expensive to do that.
Yeah. So you can get back. It's just like you are locked in for a while. So it really does make the revolt a bit of a, like, in this case, you can't train more villages, kind of a penalty there. That is for sure. But let's remember, Drongo, that we saw that what was it, the Advanced Revolutions card, Independence Movements he sent earlier.
Yeah, we can't see it at the moment because I think it was in his original deck, but yes.
That's right. So we can't see it, but I can tell you it reduces the cost of revolting and returning to Mexico by 25%, which for him right now is about 1,000 resources worth of value if he was able to return to Mexico. So that card he sent early on is like not help too much, but if he returns to Mexico, he could get some value. Mind you, it was quite a long time that he sent it, so there is that to bear in mind. But it does mean he could return to Mexico. It's kind of feasible. It's kind of more feasible. That's a lot of Chinacos, though, and look at the range on those bad boys.
Yeah, look at how far their lances get out. It's absolutely ridiculous how
like
far
the
away.
Meteor Hammer.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Not
look
like
at them.
The Meteor Hammer has what, 5 range? This has 2.75. So
I love the way they twirl it around above their heads as well, though. But Fitzbro looks like he might be in a bit of a difficult spot here because the numbers are pretty decent here for Soldier. He's Soldios. Is that what he is? Soldadoos. Against the Saltadors. There's a lot of salt around here. I think something tells me Kaiser Klein's going to be very happy with this Civ.
Yeah, I mean, that man is just, he's the Red Sea, isn't he? I know. I love Kaiser Klein.
Yeah, me too.
When we were at Escape, he put in so much work to help us cast games for the New World Championship. That man is an absolute beast. So I have a lot of respect for Kaiser Klein. But we have seen his streams. We know how salty he can get. That is for sure.
He's great fun. I absolutely love watching his streams. He's really fun to follow.
I mean, that's why you tune in. I mean, yeah, great guy. But look at this. Like, I think it's coming to an end for Fitzbro here. Like, Soldier's managed to work up a pretty decent mass now. Soldares are pretty scary, and those Falconets that he was shipping, like, since the shipment curve has slowed down, it's just like that is what he needs to counter the Soldares. But it's hard to get a hold of them now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough for him. I mean, he's got the 2 Haciendas that are back here, but realistically, one of the things I do like about it is, right now he is going to have that food source available for him. It's going to be feeling really good to be able to come back here, not having to put down that mill at all. He's just able to come back towards his base and, begin gathering up that food. And it's one of those things that, when you don't have map control, it's always a very big burden to actually be putting down that mill or that estate, and you're not going to have to do that as Mexico.
I love Mexico at this point in the game. Like, when you're switching to mills and plantations, you're like, oh, I've done that already.
Yeah. and not
so
only
good.
that, but if you invest further resources into it, you're getting further rewarded because they've got that passive trickle that exists for them.
Yep. At some point, though, I think cows are pretty good to spawn, especially if you have the Barbacoa card. I'm not sure if they're at that point yet. I feel like that's more of a team game or a late, once you get to a later stage of the game. But yeah, the Hacienda has quite a few trickles. It's it's a mill plantation, but also you can get it to make other things, including settlers if you get to eventually the fortress age. Neither of the players there yet, though. Oh, we can't see. Oh, I think it's because you're as Soldier.
Yeah, so we can see Soldier, yeah, just with those 3. So tell me a little bit about that. So you can actually train or spawn, rather, settlers through your Haciendas.
Yeah, so the building just it does something without any villages. It trickles 2 villages worth of food, 2 villages worth of coin, or you can have it spawn cows. The cows take 100 seconds to spawn, but is made faster if you have things working at the hacienda. And it's the same for settlers. They take 100 seconds as well. Although and also you can add some villages there. The additional curve rate, whatever, having extra villages isn't quite the same for cows and villages. So, villages are better. So harder to get a hold of them. But yeah, like if you've got like 4 haciendas chugging along, producing a villager every 100 seconds, like you don't even need any things on them. You could have your villagers out on the map gathering food and coin, which is obviously the faster thing to do. You just have those haciendas helping you out, making some villages. Yeah, that's a Fortress Age thing though. But Mexico, like getting to the Fortress Age does feel kind of awkward. Like all of your upgrade, you've got so many units you have to upgrade. They're expensive upgrades. It's not like playing, Iroquois or something where they cost 200 wood, 100 coin, like cheap upgrades, or India. Like you have to pay for these upgrades. Like Mexico has some like getting like that. I think that's one of the drawbacks.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. Now we see that inspiring flag going down for Fitzborough in the middle there. Is that the same inspiring flag that the United States has got access to?
Yep, it's part. So Mexico and the US sort of share the same culture bonus, if you will. You've got European civs, you've got Asian civs, you've got war chief civs, you've got these sort of new American civs. And that's they have a general that can make a fort and implant inspiring flags. So that's what these 2 civs have.
Right, okay. That makes a lot of sense. So forces now starting to build up and really move in over on this this left-hand side. Both players still technically in age 2. I mean, Fitzborough, he's in, what would you call it, 2.5? Is that the age or the appropriate?
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing Central America, it's kind of like age 2.5. You can get veteran units if you send the cards. They are hella expensive. You can train falconets. You can ship falconet. Like, it's kind of like, I'm not sure if he hasn't sent those yet, has he?
No, he hasn't, not yet.
No. But that is one way. Like, you're kind of in age 2.5. Like, you're not in the Fortress Age, because clearly, it says you're in the Commerce Age, it's what it says you're in.
Yeah.
But you do have access to some Fortress Age utility when you go into Central America. Man, he is holding out. He's had 26 vills this whole game.
Yeah, he's trying his best to save up to come back into it, but I think he's just determined to continue making revolutionaries at this point. But yeah, both players now really looking to sort of finalize the game.
This is the big push, isn't it?
Yeah, the villagers getting pulled. That's when you know something's happening. The villagers getting pulled. They want to throw in their little bit of siege damage, but it looks like they're just going to be pushing back this hunt on Fitzborough's side. And now we spot Soldier as he heads forward towards that town center and looks to try and clinch the game.
Yeah, this might be the nail here. Yeah, Salteador only have 17 range though, so they can't poke in quite as far, but a really nice feature about them, if you turn on the Fog of War, we can see that this unit actually sort of reveals. You can see in the back there, Soldier can see what's going on. Every time he shoots, those units, he sort of gets line of sight to them for a brief period, which will go away. There you go, they disappeared just there. But like, you just poke in, like this guy is like a stealthy kind of dude that can sort of peer in through the Fog of War.
And that's definitely not something that should be underestimated. You know, one of the big things that happens in Age of Empires 3 is the constant fights between siege. So, as an example, if you had some falconets that were sitting back here and you gain line of sight of them because of your Salteador and their ability to do that, you could potentially snipe them off with a couple of culverins and very easily turn the tide of the fight. Looks like the market is slowly going to get burned down by a couple of these grenades. And we see just the Salteador doing plenty of damage there. 32 siege damage on these bad boys. I like the fact that they've also got that extra range. So most units have only got that 6 siege range. But the Salteador has got a siege range of 9. So it gives them that extra little bit of range.
Yeah, and like, they are expensive though. Like, if you want to open, it's not like you're playing Brits where you can get like 15 muskets in the first couple of minutes that you're in the Age 2. Like, these are expensive. It's kind of hard to mass Soldares early on. They're kind of like at least in my experience, you often training Salteadors and insurgents. You're sort of going, well, to make the comparison to Spain, like Rod Skirm.
Yeah.
So here, and then like, it's kind of cool that the Soldares come online a bit later. They're a bit more expensive. They're a bit more. So it's not like you can open with them, but they're this unit that sort of, that is useful later, especially once you get the incendiary grenades upgrade at the arsenal and you start giving, because if you look, the Soldado actually has the abstract grenadier tag, so he's affected by grenadier upgrades.
Oh wow, he is too. So yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah, and he's a two-pop skirmisher, and we know from like playing Ottomans that Abbas guns in the Imperial Age just feel like
Oh
this
yeah.
clunky unit that uses up all your population. So like two-pop infantry in general, kind of nice that in the late game he's got something going for him. You can get that area damage on him.
Yeah, and it's much nicer, I think, to have a really high base of health than a really high base attack, just because it means overkilling is not something that you're going to be doing a lot of, and it's going to make your units a lot tankier as well.
Oh well, we know people like high hit points from cuirassiers,
Yes.
Lafidi Knights. So
Yeah, the high hit points are always very, very nice. Now, one of the things to note is Soldier's got quite a decent mix in here. He's obviously combining out his skirmisher unit with his musketeer unit as anti-cavalry, and then more importantly, he's got the Chinarcos, which are going to be his cavalry. But it's important to note these are somewhat similar to the Japanese cavalry unit in that they've got this bonus. It's just a very mild bonus against infantry, and then they do a relatively not small, but a smaller amount of base damage.
Yeah, so they're particularly good against just, skirmishers like you mentioned. They also have a bonus against cavalry, but it's not really a bonus. It's just to offset their very low hit points. Like Hussars and Chinarcos actually trade really evenly. So if you're doing like 5 cav semi-FF, like 5 Chinarco, God, that cav, look at this fight, like in and out, like that, you should not underrate Falconets, but Chinarcos deal with them splendidly. That extra range, you just attack them over enemy lines. You're like, no, China with a meteor hammer is a bit like that. Not quite as much. But he's handled those Falconets.
They got over one line of infantry. Like, that was pretty decent, and it looks like good game did get called. So Soldier being victorious there.
And it's just down to the villages, right? Can we look at that 41 at the end there for Soldier, and Fitzbro obviously is not growing at all. It's just flatlined. He gets the boost a bit later from the card, but
yeah, it is very all in, isn't it? It's just it's one of those things where you got to try and finish that game with that push, and I think Soldier made the correct choice in that he went for that base trade, or at least a villager trade. I think one of the options that you've got as Fitzbro, if you're going for that that revolt, is that you can look to try and secure Stagecoach. That would be a great way to sort of boost up your economy, because you could be sitting up on 26 vils. He lost a lot. He went down to 17 vils, but on 26 vils, he could have been very happy, get that Stagecoach in. He'd be on the equivalent of like 40, 42 vils and have access to Falconets. He'd be doing great.
Yeah, good game. I like that one. What we got in store? God, I hope that you have the game where I played against Soldier. That was a lot of fun.
Well, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll have to catch us in the next video to find out if we do have that game against Soldier. Interjection himself joining us for this cast. Inter, thank you so much for joining us for this cast.
Oh, I'm very pleased. I'm glad to be here.
All right. Well, we'll catch you guys in the next one, and thank you so much for watching.